Hello, this is Greg Harrelson here with Century 21, the Harrelson Group, and I wanted to, just share with you a little bit more about what's going on in the Myrtle Beach real estate market. It is the beginning of July, of course, and I was looking at the June numbers for the market, and I'm noticing some very interesting things that I want to share with you. But to start off with, I would say this: the market is very active, and I say that because we're getting showings on the listings that we have on the market, the sellers that we're representing. We're getting buyer calls from our websites, and they're ending up resulting in buyer appointments. So we're showing a lot of property right now, which I'm very excited about. Of course, we are in a selling season, so maybe that is normal, but it's a little bit more than I think a lot of people anticipated. A lot of that will depend on the marketing that we do on our listings. So we are very aggressive at marketing our listings. So we tend to have more buyers than maybe a lot of agents, a lot of companies. But I just wanted to let you know there's a lot of activity going on in the market if anyone's thinking about selling. Let me just share with you, though, some numbers, some data. Right now, single family homes. I'll start with single family homes, and I'm going to share something about condos because those are two different real estate markets. Right now, there's 4.3 months of supply of single family homes. Technically, we like to see, or we think that when it's 5 months or lower, less than 5 months, it's still a seller's market. So that's a good sign. The market is still strong for sellers right now. When we get into the 5 month, that's a neutral market. 6 months, we call that a buyer's market. So it's still a seller's market for single family homes. The list to price ratio is 97.6%. So when we put a property on the market, we're only negotiating around 2.5%. It's taking right now, or I should say the average listing is getting around 3.2 showings, but it does take around 10 showings to get a property under contract. Hence why I said marketing more aggressively. If you look at the average sellers only getting around 3 showings on their listing when we know it takes 10. So knowing that it takes 10 showings to get a property under contract, it's very important that we market property aggressively. And it's taken around 125 days from the day it's first listed to the day that it's closed. That's the days on the market for single family homes. For the condo market, it's quite a bit different. There's 8 months of supply. So yes, it is a buyer's market. We can't deny that for the real estate market or for the condo market. Now, there are some buildings that have an enormous amount of inventory with very few sales. So I would say that it doesn't apply to every single type of property. Like the nicer 3 and 4 bedroom units, there's less supply. The efficiency and 1 bedrooms in the lower price buildings, there's more supply. So it's kind of skewed. If I was to do it in price points, we would see that it could be a little bit different. But right now, there's 8 months of supply, which means it's a buyer's market. The list to sales price for condos is 96.5, still only having to negotiate 3.5%. That's really good. The average listing is only getting 1.9 showings when it takes 8.8 showings to get a property under contract. Again, just putting a property on the market is not going to yield great results. Putting a property on the market correctly is going to yield great results. So I did, just wanted you to see and wanted to report the difference between the residential market and the condo market. Of course, there's people that are complaining that the real estate market is bad. You hear this all the time. The real estate market in that area is so bad right now. Well, it's not that true because the prices have held firm. We haven't seen prices going down. What we haven't seen prices really going up, but we haven't really seen them going down. Like if we look at the average, it's very flat market. So you can't really say, in my opinion, that that's bad. When people are saying the market's bad, here's the data that would back up that statement. It's taking longer to sell, and not everyone is selling. So if somebody's coming in thinking it's a seller's market on a condo and they're pricing it like really, really high, nothing that the comparables or recent sales would support, then that one's going to sit on the market. And then that owner's going to declare that the market is bad. But somebody else that comes on and puts their property on the market at a market value, which is pretty much a flat price, like not up, not down, at a fair price, and it's marketed aggressively. They're getting the biggest bulk of the showings. That property is going under contract very quickly, and that seller would say the market is good. So, in my experience, the market's been pretty good for the sellers that we've been representing. But I do acknowledge that it does look that the market's not that good right now because there is a lot of inventory sitting and not selling. I know I'm stressing this a lot on this video, but it all comes down to how was it marketed? So there's the data, there's the market update. I hope that's helpful. I'd love to earn your business if you're thinking about selling a property or purchasing a property in this area anytime in the next year. Please let me know. You can just reach out to me by calling me, texting me, emailing me. You just let me know how I can best serve you. And thank you for allowing me to continually be a good resource for your real estate needs down in Myrtle Beach. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.